All right, we're almost ready. All right, that's not going to work. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. Welcome to our Kabbalat Shabbat service. It is storming out, so we might not get the crowd that we had last week, but you're all welcome anyway. We are praying out of Sidor Lev Shalem, which is downloadable from the synagogue's website. And we begin tonight's service, page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We continue page 11, Psalm 95. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai. Naria naria letzor yishenu, nekad mafana betoda. Naria naria letzor yishenu, Bizmirot naria lo, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai. Naria naria letzor yishenu, nekad mafana betoda. Naria naria letzor yishenu, Bizmirot naria lo. We read responsively, page 11. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Great is Adonai. Come then, let us bow and kneel, let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and if only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted like the people at the Merivah, like the time at Massah in the desert when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. Arbaim shanakut bedor v'amaram toeh levavhem v'hem lo yad derachai asher nishpati v'yapi im yavaon el menuchati. Page 13. Ashiru ladonai shir chadash, shiru ladonai kol haaretz, shiru ladonai baruch shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato, sapru vagoyim kevodo bechol amim nifliotav, ki gadol Adonai, o mehulal miyod. No rahu, how ko Elohim, lai 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 kiko Elohi hamami melilim, vadonai shamayim asap, hod v'hadar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, havu ladonai mishpachot amim, havu ladonai kavod v'oz, Havu ladonai kevod shemo, seu mincha uvahu lechadzerod av lai 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 shtachavu ladonai behadrat kodesh chilo mipanav kol haaretz imrum vagoyim Adonai malach aptikum tevel balatimod yadim nahamim b'meisharim yesmechu hashamayim v'tagil haaretz ayir hamayamu melo yalo sadai v'chol asher bo lai 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 az yiranenu kol hatziyar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim b'emunato yalai la lai la yai la 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 lai yai lai 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 yalai la lai la lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai lai. Page 15. We pray responsibly. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, assuming besiegers round about.
Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, all nations speak glory.
Worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God.
Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult. You, Adonai, cast judgment.
You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine.
Adonai, aid evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinner.
Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounced the divine holy name. Page 17, Psalm 98. Mizmor shiru ladonai shir chadash ki niflot asa hoshia lo yemino ozaro wakodsho adia Adonai Yeshuato le'ena goyim gilad tzidkato zachar chasta ve'emunato levei Yisrael ha'u cholav se'aretz et Yeshuat Eloheinu horiu l'Adonai kol ha'aretz pitzkum ve'ranenu ve'zameru zamru l'Adonai bechinor v'kol zimara b'chatzot rod v'kol shofar hariu lifnei melech Adonai yiramayam umaloho tevel v'yoshveva neharot yimchau chaf yachad arim yiranenu lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim b'meisharim yalai lalai 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 yalai lalai 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 yalai lalai 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 Ya lai la lai la lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Ya lai la lai la lai lai. Ya lai la lai la lai 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 lai. Ya lai lai la lai 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 lai. Psalm 99 on page 19. Adonai reigns, the nations tremble, the one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. There should be somebody, let him in. Adonai is great in Zion above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, all-inspiring Holy One. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down before God, the Holy One. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God. You were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions. Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu la'ar kadisho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise, page 21. Mizmor leDavid, avu l'Adonai b'nei Yehilim, avu l'Adonai kavod vauz, avu l'Adonai kavod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, ela kavod hirim Adonai omayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayshabir Adonai et alzei halvanon, vayarkidem kemo egel, Levanon v'Sirion kemo ven re'emim, kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, vayechesap yaharod, uvehechalo kula umer kavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, yeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz li'amo yitem, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. You may be seated. Page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mikor habiracha merosh mikedem nesucha, sov maaseh mimachshvat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, kurmitzei mitocha hafecha, rav lach shevet b'yemek habacha, V'hu yachamohu alaychem la. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitnarim me'afar kumi, livshei vigdei tifartech ami, Hayad ben Yishai beit alachmi, karva el nafshi geyala. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva ore kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich digla. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lo Tevoshi V'lo Tikami Ma Tishtochachi U'Mate Mi Bach Yachasu Ani Eyamni V'nivneta Ir Al Tila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala P'nei Shabbat Nikabela V'hayu Lem Shisa Sho Esayich V'rachaku Kol Mihivalayich Yasis Alayich Elohayich Kibchos Chatan Al Kala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala P'nei Shabbat Nikabela Yamin Usmal Tifrotzi V'yeta Donai Ta'aritzi Ayadish Ben Partzi V'nismecha V'nagila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala P'nei Shabbat Nikabela. We rise, we face towards the west to greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzala toch emunei am segulam boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. You may be seated. We continue page 27. Mizmor Shili Yom HaShabbat. Tov lahodot ladonai, Tov lahodot ladonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon. Tov lahodot ladonai, Lehagid baboker chastecha, Lehagid baboker chastecha, Vemunatcha baleilot, Vemunatcha baleilot, Tov lahodot ladonai. Tzadikata mar yifrach ki erez valvanan yiske shetuli bevet Adonai bechatz rod Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim v'hananim yeyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri below avlatabo. Page 29. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, you are eternal. The rivers. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. So welcome to everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for making it out on this horrible driving night. I can't imagine. I didn't know we were going to almost get a minyan tonight. It's pretty good. The last 3 weeks we've had quite a nice minyan. We had 3 weeks ago, we had one of our congregants talk about Jews during the civil rights movement. It was absolutely phenomenal, actually. That was 2 weeks ago, sorry. Last week, we had Sisterhood Shabbat and Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem installation. I think we had, I don't know, 60 people here maybe. I don't know if it was that many. And a great dinner. And so I thought everybody was going to take a break, but this is nice. This feels really nice. The results of a computerized survey indicate the perfect rabbi who preaches exactly 15 minutes. He condemns sin, but never upsets anybody. He works from 8 a.m. until midnight and is also the janitor. He makes $50 a week, wears good clothes, buys good books, drives a good car, and gives about $50 weekly to the poor. He is 28 years old and has preached for 30 years. He has a burning desire to work with teenagers and spends all his time with senior citizens. The perfect rabbi smiles all the time with a straight face because he has a sense of humor that keeps him seriously dedicated to his work. He makes 15 calls daily on congregational families, shut-ins, and the hospitalized, and is always in his office when needed. If your rabbi does not measure up, simply send this letter to 6 other synagogues that are tired of their rabbi too. Then bundle up your rabbi and send them to the synagogue at the top of the list. In 1 week, you will receive 1,543 rabbis, and one of them will be perfect. Have faith in this letter. One congregation broke the chain and got its rabbi back in less than 3 months. So I hope you realize that was absolutely ridiculous. These expectations of a rabbi, you do realize how ridiculous they are, right? Okay. So I want to explore a midrash on a section of this week's Torah portion, Kitisa, as is discussed in Searching for Meaning in Midrash by Michael Katz and Gershom Schwartz, and see what it might have to say about the discussion we just have. So if we look at Exodus 31, verses 1 through 5, Vayedaber Adonai Moshe lemor, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Re'eh karati v'shem B'tzalel ben Uri ben Hur l'matei Yehuda. See, I have called by name B'tzalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. Ve'amalei oto ruach Elohim b'chochma u'v'tnevuna u'v'da'at u'v'chol melacha. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all kinds of workmanship. Lachshov machshavot la'asod b'zahav u'v'kesef u'vanchoshet. To devise skillful works to work in gold and in silver and in bronze. Uvacharoshet even lemalot, uvacharoshet etz la'asot bechol melacha. And in cutting of stones to set them, and in carving of timber to work all kinds of workmanship. In Exodus Rabbah, and Midrashic text, which looks at this singling out of Betzalel, it has to say, Rabbi Hoshea said, a person who has knowledge but doesn't fear of sin has nothing. A carpenter who doesn't have a tool isn't a carpenter. Why? For the mantle of Torah is the fear of sin, as it says in Isaiah 33:6. Fear of God is his treasure chest. A verse quoted from Isaiah emphasizes the importance of the fear of God. Rabbi Hoshea said, a person who has knowledge but doesn't possess fear of sin has nothing. In bringing the image of the carpenter, a carpenter who doesn't have a tool isn't a carpenter. We connect the Midrash back to the Torah verse and Betzalel. He was an artisan chosen by God to oversee the building of the tabernacle, the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary that the Israelites carried with them through the wilderness. The word used for the skill that God gave to Betzalel is the same word for wisdom, chokhmah. which the rabbis understood to mean the Torah. Why is a carpenter without a tool not a carpenter? For the mantle of Torah is the fear of sin, as it says. Fear of God is his treasure chest. The treasure chest is analogous to the carpenter's toolbox. Knowledge of Torah alone is not enough. One must also possess fear of or reverence for God. This is the rabbi's set of tools that enable him or her to build and fashion a world based on Torah. A congregational rabbi today must do many things, be many things. A biblical and Talmudic scholar, an eternal student, a master teacher, a feeling and caring pastor, a dynamic preacher, a take charge yet delegating administrator, a successful fundraiser, a personable master of ceremonies, because I'm exhausted, a gifted writer, a moral exemplar. No human being can excel at all of those things. Realizing that no one person is the perfect pastor, which qualities would we consider the most important? What weaknesses would we be willing to accept? If we sat on the search committee, what kind of person would we look for in our religious leader? In the Bible, when God is ready to build the tabernacle, comparable to the modern synagogue, God hires Bezalel, whose chief qualifications are skills, ability, and knowledge. But constructing a building does not a synagogue make. Bezalel, we have to remember, was merely the chief craftsman. The spiritual leader was Moses. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our rabbi. Moses had many strengths. He cared deeply for his people, saving them from God's anger on more than one occasion. He was a man of great courage and standing before Pharaoh and demanding his people's freedom. He was a great writer. You may recall his 5 books. But he also had many weaknesses. He was not a good public speaker, as he had a speech impediment. He couldn't always control his temper, like when he struck the rock twice with his staff instead of speaking to it. He wasn't very organized. His father-in-law, Jethro, had to show him how to set up the nation's bureaucracy. Despite his imperfections, Moses has gone down in history as our greatest religious leader. Perhaps a clue as to what made him the perfect rabbi is found in the simple verse in Numbers 12:3. Now Moses was a very humble man, more so than any other man on earth. Humble does not mean shy or weak. Those are not the qualities that Moses had. Humility means the knowledge that we are not perfect, and it is the acceptance that someone, God, is so much greater than we are. Humility also means, in the words of Rabbi Hoshea, the fear of sin, that we have reverence not for ourselves, but for the position that we hold, and that we realize the terrible consequences of doing wrong. Ironically, the perfect rabbi may be the one who realizes that he or she is not perfect. Shabbat shalom. We will continue with Baruch Hu, page 39a. Please rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Vo'ed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umahavir yom umevi laila mavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzavaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamidim lo chaleinu lamvoed baruch ata Adonai Hamari v'aravim, page 40. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumenu nesiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam voed ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla v'yavatcha tasim mimenu la'olamim baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ho'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanetam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachpecha v'kumecha u'kshartam niot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha u'chtav damnam zuzot beitecha uv'isharecha v'hayim shamahu tishmeu mitzvot asher anochi mitzvot achem yava et Adonai Elohechem l'tov. Ki ma'ashma mart. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem v'yasu lahem tzitzit al kanfei v'gnehem ladoratam v'natnu al tzitzit takana petil techelep v'haya lachem letzitzit oritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo tatu racharei levavchem v'yacharei nechem asher tem zonim machareihem leman dizgaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti etachem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Eloechem Adonai Elohechem Ehemed, page 43a. This is our enduring affirmation binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other. And we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh, offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided water of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Page 44. Moshe umiram uvenei Yischalach neshira b'sibcha rabba v'yamaru chulam mi chamaocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamaocha Nedor Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot, O Seifele, Malchut Tacharu V'necha Bokeyam Lifnei Moshe, Zeli Anu V'yameru, Adonai Imloch Leolam Voed, V'ne'emar Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalad Miat Chazak Mimenu, Baruch et Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael, page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Elohim. Ushmotzeitenu vein l'chaim, ushalom yatav yad olam, ufosalinu sukat shalamecha baruch Adonai, aboret sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We rise, page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Beini vein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asah Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. The silent Amidah, pages 47 through 52. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol Shalom. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. We turn to page 56 and we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol l'teit gdula liotzer b'reshit shelo asnan k'goyeh ha'ratzot v'lo samanu k'mishmachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהונתי שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקראו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אין מתמלכנו אלא זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד אוקיי. גגדו בתורתך אדוני מלך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. This week we will observe yard sites for Rosie Gellerman, Jacob Schinbaum, Mars Franco, Natalie Moscow, Julia Rosenberg, Joseph Weinstock, Samuel Ebo, Israel J. Tarika, and Henry Heller. Those, do we need to add any more names for our visitors? Okay, thank you. For those observing yard site and those in mourning, please rise and join me, page 58, for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabah bi'oma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv yimaru amen. Yehi shmei rabah mevarach le'olam malmel maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitwamam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha barichu Leilamin kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yoma v'yimaru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Thank you for joining us in this rainy terrible driving weather, and looks like we have a healthy online as well. Services will continue tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. I hope the rain is gone by then. I don't know. I know it's going to get cold now again for a couple days. And tomorrow evening, the Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah will meet via Zoom for the end of Shabbat. And so that will be and we have a new time this week. It's at 7:30. Okay, 7:30, not 6. If you come at 6, you're going to be way early. Not only that, but the time changes this weekend. So you should set your alarm clocks for 2 a.m. on Sunday. Wake up, set your clock at 3 a.m., go back to sleep. So you're going to be really, it means you're going to be early for everything? Anyway, I never can figure this out. We will have, the religious school is meeting this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. here at Agudath Israel, Etz Ahayem. We will have our Monday and Thursday minions at 7:15 with breakfast following. Okay, I just got to make sure I don't forget anything. We just finished, we had a group of rabbis from all over the country, actually, Masorti and conservative rabbis, led by Rabbi Amy Eilberg, who is, believe it or not, the world's first, or the conservative movement's first female rabbi. She was ordained in 1983. She was with them, along with the CEO and president of the United Synagogue. It was really a pleasure to have them. We were here for 2 breakfasts and a dinner, and it was just so much fun. It was really, really a lot of fun to have them here. This next week, I think Tuesday and Wednesday, we're hosting a group of women from the Women's League of Conservative Judaism. And then next week, I think we have 2 groups that are coming back to back, Sunday through Thursday. And I think that ends, I think the 5th group we have is on Friday night. Is it April 3rd? I may have the date wrong. It's that Friday night in April, where we have 2 groups. Rabbi Krame, who's been here before with a group. He liked it so much he's coming back with another group from the Northeast. And also we have a group from my old synagogue in Salt Lake City, Kolami, is coming through with 23 people. And so it'll be a lot of fun. And there's a dinner that night too, so can't miss that. So that's going to be great. I don't know if I missed anything, but that's enough. We will conclude our service, page 211, with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Hasav Echefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yachare Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni L'am Shelo Lehachbira Beli Reshi Beli Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'hu Eli V'chai Go Eli V'tzor Chevli B'yetz Hara V'hu Nisi Umanosli Minat Kosi B'yom Mekra Minat Kosi B'yom Mekra B'yado Afkid Ruchi B'yei Ishan V'ya'ira V'imaruchi Kiviyati Adonai Li V'lo Ira Adonai Li V'lo Ira Shabbat Shalom.